This is the story of how the world's best-known psychoanalyst, Sigmund Freud, lied to cover up society's abuse of children. It's a story about how Freud's lie has affected modern psychology and cost the lives of millions. Over 100 years ago, Sigmund Freud decided to find out why women in Vienna were being sent to him by their families. Their families told Freud that the women were ill. In treating these female patients, Freud discovered a terrifying reality hiding behind polite Viennese society. Freud discovered that all the women in his clinic had been sexually abused. Freud discovered that what society said was mental illness was in fact the symptoms of sexual abuse in childhood. This discovery excited Freud. Finally, he had the cure for society's problems. If families could stop sexually abusing their children, then public health would improve. So he set about writing a paper on this discovery. But when Freud announced his findings on April 21st, 1896, at the Society for Psychiatry and Neurology, Viennese society refused to accept it. They told Freud that he was a liar and threatened to destroy his reputation. Despite Freud's deep understanding of human psychology, he had failed to anticipate what would happen when he reported on his findings. Rather than welcoming Freud's insights and addressing the problems of sexual abuse in society, instead, the people of Vienna turned on Freud and attacked him. In fear of losing his position in society, Freud realised that he would have to abandon his discovery and create a new explanation for what these women were telling him. Freud looked through history for anything that he might use to keep his position in society. Finally, Freud found an ancient myth to suggest that these women were in fact fantasizing. He called this idea the Oedipus complex.
Strangers, can you tell me where is the palace of King Oedipus? Or better, where he is?
The Oedipus myth describes how an ancient character sought to murder his father and marry his mother. This was the U-turn that would save Freud's career. Freud could now claim that he had made a mistake. These women weren't being sexually abused, he would say. What was actually happening is that in their fantasies, these women sought to kill and sexually abuse their parents. In short, Freud claimed that this ancient Greek fairy tale explained why the women were telling him they had been abused. The women were not reporting on actual experiences, Freud now said, but they were making it up. And the Greek fairy tale of Oedipus proved it. The men in Austrian society thought that Freud's new theory was perfect. It was Greek and technical. They also liked it because it meant they could keep abusing their children without anyone stopping them. Freud's first discovery, that parents were abusing their children, was more or less erased from history, until recently. Now, a lot of people have begun to notice the same connection Freud discovered all those years ago. Modern society today is beginning to notice that many people who are considered mentally ill are actually victims of abuse in childhood. Freud's abandonment of the women who came to him for help allowed him to keep his position in society and became the founding concept of psychoanalysis. That concept being that mentally ill people are victims of their own fantasies, and the concept that mental illness occurs randomly, without cause. Today, Freud and psychoanalysis are still well respected. This has cost the lives of millions of children. And this was Sigmund's fraud.